Okay. So we're gonna transition over to the boxing ring. I got a couple questions for you in the boxing realm, my friend.
All right.
We have a super fight coming up.
Yeah.
Battle of the little guys here, but
Yeah.
not in a bad sense. But is Lopez really ready for Loma?
You know, I've been impressed with Lopez's rise to this point. His championship fight for the IBF title was pretty fucking good. He dominated a guy that was a knockout artist. Um, but going into that fight, it was another situation where it's like, I've never heard of this guy. And he was the champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Boxing,
I mean, boxing needs to get up the game.
Well, let's say
Boxing,
he had one of the belts. He wasn't the undisputed champion. He just had one of the belts.
he had the IBF title. You know, and clearly Loma is the dominant champion. He has all the rest of the belts.
And let's just say that guy had the belt because Loma didn't take the fight and let the belt go.
Right.
But Loma's still the champion. He's the undisputed champion of that, regardless of that IBF title that Lopez is touting in there.
Right.
But let's talk about the age and the experience. Like if you look at the professional records, they're very similar because they're about the same professionally. But we're talking about 32-year-old Loma, who's a man's man at this point at 32, in the middle of his prime, versus a young hungry lion, a 22-year-old Lopez.
Yeah.
You know, he's early 20s.
Yeah.
Not saying like we both Tyson fans, so we know age ain't nothing like that. Like
right.
But as far as experience, these little guys, like Tyson's a knockout artist, so if you can come up and knock out a grown man, that's one thing. But to beat Loma, he's gonna have to actually outbox him.
Right. And Loma is a 2-time gold medalist, with over 100 amateur fights. You know what I'm saying?
Hundreds.
Yeah. Over hundreds of amateur fights. So he's pretty much seen every style out there. The only thing that I feel like Lopez may have I don't want to say advantage, but the thing that's going to help him in this fight is his athleticism. He's a little bit younger and more athletic than a lot of the other fighters that Loma has fought in the past. But Lomachenko is one of the most athletic fighters in the sport, period, in any division. So, I mean,
that's what I mean from a skill set, from the way he moves, bobs and weaves. He brings that entertainment value. Loma, I think, doesn't get as much credit as he should because he is flashy and people think he's just flashy, got little speed, bobs and weaves. You know what I mean? But his skills are there. Like you said, a 2-time gold medalist. I think the dude has only lost 1 or 2 amateur fights in his career.
Yeah.
Over hundreds of them. Not that in boxing, amateur career. Yeah, but did he?
He did. He lost. He got beat up. But the circumstances behind that, you could point to. The guy came in overweight, and the guy was doing some dirty shit in the fight with the low blows and things like that. But
that's what I'm saying. Some tactics. There was some. That's what I'm saying. That loss, I'm gonna give him the air quotations because he didn't have to fight him. That was the whole thing, and he still did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he wasn't scared.
He asked for that. Loma asked for that. Loma came in like, I want to make history, and after 1 fight or 2 fights, I want to be in a title fight. I'm a 2-time gold medalist. I got hundreds of amateur fights. I deserve to come into the sport and fight for a world title off the rip.
Yeah, he's the fastest one to ever do it, to win all the belts.
And it kind of backfired in his face. And then the 3rd fight he actually won the world title, and that's the beginning of this young man's legend. But I just feel like Lopez, out of the 2, he's definitely the power puncher. He does have boxing skills as well. And that's what makes this fight interesting for me, is because Loma is fast and very skilled. But this dude is fast, skilled, and has that extra oomph. He's a knockout type guy. You know, I think only maybe 2, 3 of his opponents have escaped getting knocked out. So
for sure, and that's why I'm a Lopez fan, because regardless of your weight class, I want to see people get knocked out. I mean, that's to me the funnest part. It's like the fatality when we play the video games. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we just had backed him in the corner and did one move on him until his power ran out. Like, no,
right.
I want to see somebody go night, and these are professionals at what they do. So show me, you know. And Lopez has done that, like you said, for a smaller dude. He's known to be a heavy puncher, and I think that's cool for him. I just don't know if he catches Loma.
Yeah, right. Like, that's where in life.
So, like, you can have the power, but you have to be able to connect with this dude.
Right.
That's Loma. Loma knows. Like, he's like Mayweather. He's very elusive. You know what I mean? Unless he wants to go toe to toe because he's trying to prove something to you. And I think, you know, his ego, like you said, like the dude just wanted to come in and start fighting for titles. Like, no pro fights. Like, come on, just put me in here. But when you have hundreds of amateur fights, like, come on, what is different? You know what I mean? The level of the competition.
The thing with Loma though is he is 30-something years old. In the 32 is still young, but in the last 2 fights, and we keep mentioning hundreds of amateur fights. So that means even though this man only has I think his record is somewhere like 16 fights, 17 fights, something like that. I mean, I'm just saying, Loma at 32 with all these fights, all this time put into the sport, he didn't look so invincible in the last 2 fights. In the last 2 fights, he got knocked down, and Pedraza took him 12 rounds. And Tank Davis knocked out Pedraza in 7 rounds. So it's like, okay, are you really – you're supposed to be this pound-for-pound #1 guy in the sport.
For sure.
So you look up,
and that's what makes me think twice about not betting for Lopez because I have seen his last couple of performances, but I don't, like you said, I don't know. It's kind of a toss up for me. It's kind of a coin flip because I could see it going either way, to be honest with you. I think Lopez is ready. I think he's going to give him a fight. I just don't know if he's ready to be champion.
Yeah,
just yet. I don't think Lopez is far.
It's a lot of heat that's gonna come with that. If he pulls off this upset, so to speak, and becomes the undisputed lightweight champion, there's a lot of wolves down there, you know, waiting for their shot.
Yeah, and that's why I think Loma took this fight, because he realized that's a shark's tank that they're dealing with right there. Like,